Okay, let's start with the relative isotopic mass definition. I'm going to use chlorine as an example. Chlorine exists as a mixture of 75% chlorine 35 and 25% chlorine 37. So the definition of relative isotopic mass is the mass of an atom of an isotope of an element compared with a 1/12 of the mass of a carbon-12 atom. That seems very, very long-winded. What does it really sort of mean? Well, if we've got the relative isotopic mass of a chlorine 35, then very simply it has a relative isotopic mass of 35 atomic mass units. And again, for the relative isotopic mass of chlorine 37, it has a relative isotopic mass of 37. Why is it this long-winded definition, which includes a 1/12 of the mass of a carbon-12 atom? Well, it's a relative scale, so it doesn't have units unless you're going to use atomic mass units. And we need the scale. We need to know what's 1 on the scale. Now, you might think that hydrogen would be useful, but hydrogen's a gas, so it's not easy to weigh. Carbon's the first element which is really a solid at room temperature, so we can weigh carbon out quite easily. We need to know what one is on the scale, though. So carbon has the relative isotopic mass of carbon-12 is 12, so we need a 1/12 of that to work out what 1 is. So that's why that is included. Right, we can move on to relative atomic mass, and the definition for that is as follows. So it's the weighted mean mass of an atom of an element compared to a 1/12 of the carbon-12 atom. So this bit here is the same. But what does weighted mean mass mean? Well, mean is average. So it's an average of the isotopes of chlorine. So we have chlorine 35 and chlorine 37. Now, the relative atomic mass isn't 36 for chlorine. It doesn't sit directly in the middle between the two masses. We need to take into account the abundance of each. And there's 75% of chlorine 35 and only 25% of chlorine 37. So when we take those into account, that shifts the relative atomic mass, the calculation, which I'll show you how to do in a little while, to 35.5. But these are the different weightings of which are used in the average. So this is where the weighted bit comes in. So it's the weighted average mass of an atom of an element compared with a 1/12 of carbon-12. You will need this section of the definition in your answer, otherwise you won't get the marks in an A-level exam. Okay.